If you've ever tried to collaborate on code, you know it gets messy fast, conflicting file versions, lost work, and the fear of breaking everything. That's exactly why version control exists, and GitHub has become the place where millions of developers solve these problems every day. In this video, we're walking through the official GitHub for Beginners roadmap, covering all the foundational skills you need to go from total newcomer to confident GitHub user. First, we'll unpack what version control actually is and why it matters. Then, we'll set up and secure a GitHub account the right way. After that, we'll cover the essential Git commands you'll actually use daily, and walk through creating your first repository. Next, we'll explore Markdown for writing great documentation and break down the GitHub flow. From there, we'll dive into pull requests, merging, and fixing those dreaded merge conflicts. Finally, we'll look at GitHub issues and projects for planning work, and wrap up with a first look at GitHub Actions for automation. If you want real-world, hands-on projects building agentic solutions, then this course is for you. It uses the Claude SDK, the toolkit for building agents, to teach you how to create Microsoft 365 administration agents that automate user lifecycle management, license administration, and security investigations. Check it out, link is in the description. New to GitHub? This guide is designed to take you from the very beginning, asking what even is a repository, all the way to collaborating on real projects and contributing to open source. It's a complete roadmap that distills an entire beginner series into one holistic story. Whether you're writing your first line of code or you've been building for years without fully learning the tools underneath, you can read it from top to bottom to build a complete model of how modern software gets built on GitHub, or jump to any section for a self-contained answer. Version control is a system that tracks changes to your files over time, and Git is the most widely used one in the world. If you've ever saved files like Brand Guide v2, Brand Guide Final, and Brand Guide Final actually, you've already felt the problem it solves. Git records every change so you can see what changed, when, and why, and it lets you go back to an earlier version anytime, no more folders full of final files. Git works through three zones: your working directory where you edit, the staging area where you review what's ready, and the local repository where your saved history lives. Three commands, git status, git add, and git commit, move work between these zones, and they'll become muscle memory. And a tip: when someone says push your code, they mean use Git to upload your local commits to GitHub. Your GitHub account is your developer identity, so it should be well protected. Turning on two-factor authentication, or 2FA, adds a second layer of protection that keeps your account safe even if your password is stolen. Since passwords alone are vulnerable to phishing and reuse, you enable 2FA from Settings, under Password and Authentication. While you're there, give yourself a profile README, a living portfolio of your skills, projects, and interests. Create a public repository with the same name as your username, add a README file, and whatever you write shows up on your profile page. A crucial tip: download your recovery codes and store them in a password manager. They're your only way back in if you lose your device. A small set of Git commands covers the daily workflow of nearly every developer. You don't need to memorize all of Git. The key ones to become familiar with are config, init, clone, add, commit, push, pull, branch, and switch. Here's what a comparison of these commands shows. Git config a global username sets the name attached to your commits. Git init turns the current folder into a Git repository. Git clone followed by a URL makes a local copy of a remote repository. Git status shows what's changed and what's staged. Git add stages all your changes for the next commit. Git commit M with a message saves a snapshot of those staged changes. Git switch C creates and switches to a new branch. Git push uploads local commits to GitHub, and Git pull downloads and merges the latest changes. Finally, Git merge integrates another branch into your current one. A repository, or repo, is a project folder that tracks changes, stores history, and lets multiple people seamlessly work together. It's your project's home base. You start from your dashboard, the page you land on when you sign in to GitHub.com, which shows your repositories and activity feed. You can optionally add a .gitignore file to keep junk files out of version control and a license to tell others what they're allowed to do with your code. So what's a .gitignore for? As you work, your project folder fills up with files you never actually wrote, things your computer or tools automatically create, like system files, folders of downloaded dependencies, or temporary build output. You don't want to track or share those, so a .gitignore file lists them and tells Git to leave them alone, keeping your repository clean and focused on the code that actually matters. Markdown is a lightweight language for formatting plain text. It's how you write readmes, issues, pull requests, and comments across GitHub. Markdown turns simple symbols into clean formatting, so a few keystrokes give you documentation that's a pleasure to read, which can make all the difference. You can use Markdown syntax, along with some HTML tags, to format your writing on GitHub. The GitHub flow is the repeatable loop for safely adding work to a shared project: branch, commit, push, open a pull request, merge. You can collaborate on anything you store in a repository. For example, imagine a team keeps its reusable AI prompts in a shared repo. You rework a prompt to improve the output, make that change on a branch, open a pull request, and a colleague checks the new output before it's approved. Once it's merged, the next teammate who refreshes the repo is automatically writing from the improved prompt. There's no need to send out an announcement or have attachments drifting around inboxes. It's the same branch review merge loop developers use, applied to words instead of code. A helpful tip: give branches descriptive names like fix login bug or add dark mode so everyone knows what they're for at a glance. A pull request is a proposal to merge a set of changes from one branch into another, with a built-in space for teammates to review and discuss. This is where collaboration happens. It shows a visual diff of exactly what you changed and gives reviewers a place to comment. You should write a clear title and description, link any related issues, and review your own pull request first to catch obvious mistakes. A key tip: smaller pull requests are easier and faster to review and merge, provide less room to introduce bugs, and give a clearer history of changes. Merging integrates reviewed changes into your target branch. Most merges are just one green button: click Merge Pull Request, confirm, and you're done. But sometimes two branches edit the same lines of a file, and Git can't decide which version wins. That's a merge conflict. Git is simply asking for your help. In this case, GitHub marks the conflicting sections. You use the browser editor or VS Code to choose what to keep, mark it resolved, and merge. With a little practice, it feels as natural as any other push. Issues track individual tasks, bugs, and ideas, while projects organize those issues into a visual board so nothing slips through the cracks. Issues are shared, trackable notes. Each one is a task, bug, or idea you can assign, label, and discuss. Projects pull those issues onto a Kanban-style board so you can see the status of everything at a glance. Here's a small piece of magic that ties it all together. Every issue gets its own number, shown as a hashtag followed by a number, like number 42. When you open a pull request to fix that issue, you can type a closing keyword into the description, like closes number 42 or fixes number 42. GitHub recognizes that phrase and links the pull request in issue. The moment that pull request is merged, GitHub automatically marks issue number 42 as closed. If the issue is on a project board, it slides over to the Done column on its own. It's a simple habit that keeps your code changes and task tracking in sync without extra effort. GitHub Actions is a CI/CD and automation platform built into GitHub that automatically runs tasks like tests, deployments, or labeling when events happen in your repo. Once your project is moving, you can use GitHub Actions to let GitHub do the repetitive work. You write a workflow as a YAML file in the .github workflows directory, tell it what event should trigger it, and define the steps to run. From then on, GitHub follows those steps on its own. Got a portfolio, a project page, or documentation? GitHub Pages can host it for free at username GitHub.io repo name with no servers to manage. You enable it from Settings, under Pages, choose to deploy from a branch, and you're live in minutes. Even private repositories can publish a public site, which is great for showcasing work with code you'd rather keep to yourself. A tip: use Pages to promote your projects, share what you're building, and grow your portfolio. Security isn't a final step, it's a habit. GitHub Advanced Security is a built-in suite that automatically finds and helps you fix vulnerabilities. It includes secret scanning, Dependabot, and CodeQL code scanning, and it's free for public repositories. Secret scanning catches API keys you accidentally commit. Dependabot watches your dependencies for known vulnerabilities and opens pull requests to update them. CodeQL analyzes how data flows through your code to spot risky patterns and explains how to fix what it finds. you turn it all on from your repository settings. A crucial tip: you inherit any risk from a library the moment you import it into your project, even though you didn't write the vulnerable code yourself. Open source software has freely available code that anyone can study and improve, and GitHub is its home. To find the perfect project, look for ones with a clear README, a contributing file, an open source license, and issues tagged Good First Issue that label as maintainer's way of waving beginners in. A fork makes it safe to contribute. A fork is your own personal copy of someone else's repository where you can experiment freely, then propose your changes back with a pull request. So how is a fork different from a branch? A branch is a parallel workspace inside a repository you already have permission to change. A fork copies an entire repository into your account, which is what you need when you don't have permission to edit the original, like most open source projects. A common workflow combines both: you fork the project, create a branch in your fork for your changes, and then open a pull request back to the original. Let's jump into the terminal and do this ourselves. First, we set the name that will be attached to every commit we make, using git config with the global flag. Now we create a brand new project folder and turn it into a Git repository with Git in it. Git confirms it set up an empty repo right here. We clone the remote repository from GitHub into our current directory. Git fetches the objects and we now have a local copy linked to the remote. Running Git status shows we're on the main branch and everything is clean. No changes to stage or commit yet. After making a few edits to the project files, we stage all those changes at once with git add. The command finishes silently, meaning everything is now in the staging area. We save a snapshot of those staged changes with git commit, passing a clear message. Git reports the commit hash and confirms 2 new files were added. Now we create and switch to a new branch in one command using git switch-c. This isolates our next set of changes from the main line. We push our new branch and its commits up to GitHub. Git uploads the objects and even gives us a handy link to open a pull request for this branch. Before merging, we pull the latest changes from the main branch to make sure we're in sync. Git confirms we're already up to date. Finally, we merge our feature branch into main. Git performs a fast-forward merge and shows us exactly which files changed. That covers the full beginner roadmap for GitHub Essentials. If you want to dive deeper into any of these topics, the full article is linked in the description. Thanks for watching, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one.